there friends, it's me Peter, and I am back in the living room for the first time in several weeks. Now since July, I've kind of been going around pre-filming videos, filming out and about in different places, doing different types of things. But this week I decided to go back into the living room, mostly because I didn't pre-film any other videos. But to make it up to you guys, I decided to do another countdown for ya, since I know how much you guys love countdowns. And today's countdown is one that I've been wanting to do for a while. You see, I love music, as you have very likely noticed, and although I have no musical talent whatsoever, I love listening to songs of all different varieties. Now, over the years, I've heard countless songs, and I've heard countless song lyrics. However, sometimes I don't quite understand what they're saying in the song. Over the years, I've misheard many a song lyric, so today, I decided to share with you some of my favorites in my countdown of the top 10 misheard lyrics. Let's get things going with number 10, The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. As you should know by now, I am a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, and it should come as no surprise that The Chain made it onto my list of top 10 Fleetwood Mac songs. But just because it's my favorite, didn't mean I completely understood the lyrics the first time I heard the song. For years after I first heard this song, I thought they were singing Daniel Love, Daniel Lies. It turns out they're actually singing Damn Your Love, Damn Your Lies. I think I was in high school when I finally figured that out, and then I'm like, oh, I had grossly misheard that lyric, didn't I? Yeah. Though it does explain quite a bit, because I had been wondering for quite some time who Daniel was, as there is no member of Fleetwood Mac named Daniel, and I don't believe there ever has been a member of Fleetwood Mac named Daniel. Number 9, Your Song by Elton John. Like Fleetwood Mac, I am also a very big Elton John fan. I'm a fan of many of his songs, dating all the way back to the beginnings of his career. In fact, coming up soon I will be doing my own top 10 list of my favorite Elton John songs. But for now, let's focus on his first big US hit, Your Song, which contains a lyric that I completely misunderstood up until relatively recently.
Well, a few of the verses, well, they've got me quite cross.
For many years, up until about a year and a half ago, I thought he was singing, well, a few controversies have got me quite cross. Actually, no, he was singing, but a few of the verses, well, they've got me quite cross. I'm really not sure why I thought he was saying controversies instead of verses. Perhaps it's because he was trying to talk about how he was a big celebrity and people thought, there were controversies about him. I don't know, because Elton John's been tabloid fodder for a while. Number 8, What's Love Got to Do With It by Tina Turner. Now, I'm sure many of you are looking at me thinking, he misheard the lyrics of that song? They're actually quite easy to understand. Yes, in fact, they are quite easy to understand. In fact, I know pretty much every lyric to this song, and I've known what they were for quite some time. But not when I first heard the song back in the early 90s. Now, before I tell you about the misheard lyric, I need to tell you about a show I used to watch when I was younger called Eureka's Castle. Airing on Nick Jr., Eureka's Castle starred a bunch of puppets, including one named Eureka, inside of her castle. One of the characters was this big green dragon named Magellan, and he had these little pets, I guess you could call them, which were claymation slugs that he referred to as rock slurms. Well, shortly after I started watching Eureka's Castle, I got introduced to What's Love Got to Do With It.
What's love got to do with it? What's love?
And in a moment that embarrasses me to this very day, I thought she was singing Rock Slurm got to do with it. Instead of What's Love got to do with it. Hey, if you think I'm nuts, re-listen to that part of the song with the phrase rock slurm in your head and tell me it doesn't sound the same. I guarantee you I'm not the only one that's gonna think that. Number 7, Soak Up the Sun by Sheryl Crow. Now, I've loved this song ever since I first heard it back in 2002. I've known most of the lyrics, I've danced to it, I've sung along to it, and yet even today I'm still mishearing the lyrics.
I've got a crummy job. It don't pay nearly enough.
For the longest time, I thought Cheryl was singing "I've got a commie job, it don't pay near enough." You see, the first line of the song is, "My friend the communist holds meetings in his RV." So I assumed that her commie friend had hired her and she had a commie job. Turns out she's got a crummy job, not a commie job. But come on, you can see why I would mistake that lyric, can't you? I'm sure you can. Oh boy, I'm gonna get made fun of for that. Number 6, Fields of Gold by Sting. You know, there's not many songs I can think of where I mishear the very first line of the song, but Fields of Gold by Sting is one of them.
You'll remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley.
Up until about 6 years ago, I thought Sting was singing "You'll Remember Me When the West Wind Moves Upon the Fields of Volley." No, he's actually singing "Upon the Fields of Barley," which makes sense considering the song's called Fields of Gold and barley has a golden color to it. I always thought the Fields of Volley were somewhere in England that Sting liked to go to because Sting is British. Turns out, as far as I can tell, there is no place known as the Fields of Volley. They sound like a beautiful place, though, if someone ever decided to create one, so if you do, invite me. They sound quite peaceful and tranquil. I wouldn't mind going there. Number 5, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant by Billy Joel. Once again, Billy Joel is another artist that I absolutely love, and a top 10 list of my favorite Billy Joel songs will be coming in the near future. And while I've known who Billy Joel was ever since I was a little kid, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant is a song that I only relatively recently started listening to.
Brenda and Eddie were the popular steadies and the king and the queen of the farm. Riding around with the car top down and the radio on.
Call me crazy, but I could have sworn Billy Joel was singing about Thunder and Eddie. I had to listen to the lyrics a little bit longer to realize he was actually singing Brenda and Eddie, not Thunder and Eddie. Now, if you think I'm nuts and I'm the only one that thinks this, I can actually tell you I'm not. After I misheard the lyric and found out what they were singing, I googled the lyrics Thunder and Eddie, and I came up with a website of many people who have said they could have sworn that's what Billy Joel was singing as well. So, for those who think I'm foolish, well, I may be foolish still, but I'm not the only one that thought he was singing about Thunder and Eddie. Number 4, Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. The most recent song on my list, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, came out about 10, 11 years ago, which, makes me feel old, of course. But in addition to making me feel old, the song also made me feel confused the first few times I heard it.
Sometimes I wish someone up there will find me.
I'm almost embarrassed to admit this, but the very first time I heard that lyric, I thought Billy Joe Armstrong was singing "Sometimes I Wish a Mama Bear Would Find Me." The actual lyric is much less confusing. "Sometimes I wish someone out there would find me." Though when you think about it, him wishing a mama bear would find him is actually kind of depressing, because when you think about it, a mama bear would be defensive of her cubs, and she might come attack him. So, what exactly would he have been trying to say there? He wanted a mama bear to come attack him? Number 3, What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers. Now this is another one of those songs that I've heard ever since I was a little boy, and it's one that I've enjoyed for many, many years. The only problem? I cannot understand what they're singing in this song. And to this very day, I'm still figuring out what they're singing in this song. No, friends, there is not one particular lyric in this song I've misheard. It's honestly 90% of the song I've misheard. Now that's just one of many lyrics in this song I've misheard. And in fact, I'd like to issue a challenge to all of you. Go look up this song either on YouTube or on iTunes or wherever. Listen to it and tell me you can understand what they're saying the first time you hear it. I guarantee you're going to have to look up the lyrics to find out what they're saying. Number 2. Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Okay, I think it's safe to say that this song contains one of the most famous misheard lyrics of all time, and there's actually a bit of funny trivia about it that I'll get to in just a bit. Don't tell me I'm the only one that thought John Fogerty was singing "There's a Bathroom on the Right." That can't be. I legitimately thought that's what he was singing the first time I heard the song. I was driving in my car, and I heard it on the radio, and I literally did a double take when I heard that. It's like, that can't be what he's singing. And then I heard the second verse, and then I heard what he was actually singing, "There's a bad moon on the rise." But John Fogerty apparently has a very good sense of humor about this song, because there are times in concert where he will actually sing the wrong lyric on purpose just to make the audience happy. And the number 1 misheard song, in my opinion, is England Dan and John Ford Coley's "I'd Really Love to See You Tonight." Easily one of my favorite love songs of all time. This song I have heard many, many times ever since I was a little boy. I remember hearing it when I lived in Chicago proper. I remember hearing it when I moved to Wilmette. I even downloaded it onto my iTunes, so now I can listen to it whenever I want. And despite the fact that it's one of my favorite songs, it also has a very glaring misheard lyric.
I'm not talking about moving in, and I don't want to change your life.
Did you all hear "I'm not talking about the linen too"? That's certainly what I heard, not just the first time I heard the song, not just the second time I heard the song, but pretty much every time I heard this song until I was in high school, and I finally looked up the lyrics, and I realized, oh, they're not talking about the linen. They're right, they're not talking about the linen. They're not talking about moving in. But what sets this song apart from the previous 9 is the fact that I cannot get it out of my head that they're not singing "I'm not talking about the linen." Even today, when I know that's not what they're singing, I still hear that in my head. All the other songs on this list, I don't do that to. I actually hear the real lyric. Not with "I'd Really Love to See You Tonight." And I know for a fact I'm not the only one that thought this, because not only have I seen posts online about people who thought they were singing "I'm not talking about the linen," but John Ford Coley himself has talked about this. I once saw footage of a concert he was giving, and before he sang the song, he goes, "Now let's get one thing straight here. I am not singing "I'm not talking about the linen. I'm singing "I'm not talking about moving in." Are we clear on that? Good." And then he launched into the song. He seemed almost a bit annoyed that people kept mishearing the lyric, but let's be honest, if that many people are mishearing the lyric, you're obviously not singing all that clearly. Still, it doesn't change my opinion of the song. I still absolutely love the song. One of my favorite love songs of all time, and I can't think of any reason why I would start disliking it anytime soon. And there you have it, my friends. My top 10 misheard lyrics of all time. If you enjoyed this list, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more lists like this, be sure to click that subscribe button down below. Until next week, this is Peter saying see you later.